I went behind my wife's back to get a DNA test. But I never expected that all three of our daughters weren't biologically mine. Turns out, all these years, I'd been wearing a forest of horns on my head. So I decided to confront my wife directly. But not only did she refuse to admit it, she also refused to divorce me. Furious, I went straight to my in-laws' house. The moment I walked in, my father-in-law told me to sit down and play chess with him. But I was in no mood for games. I kept making careless, reckless moves. He had no choice but to end the match quickly. After that, I sent the housekeeper home. It was just the two of us left in the house. Seeing this, he asked, "What's going on that's so secretive?" I asked a few questions about my father-in-law's health. Based on how he looked, I could tell he was still quite healthy. My words probably wouldn't cause him too much shock. Then I pulled out a DNA test report and handed it to my father-in-law. He glanced at it, his relaxed eyebrows immediately furrowing, a flicker of unease crossing his face. Meeting my father-in-law's gaze, I said firmly, "This is the truth." At first, I couldn't believe it either. So I had the test done multiple times. But the results were all the same. My father-in-law didn't speak right away, his sharp eyes boring straight into me. My face immediately twisted with bitterness. Completely helpless. I'd already shown these results to Sophia. But God knows what she was thinking. She refused to believe this scientific evidence. Wouldn't admit it, wouldn't confess, just kept deflecting. But I haven't made this public yet. Only the three of us know. I was hoping we could resolve this peacefully. Thomas listened, then stayed silent for a long while before saying, "This isn't some small matter. You're right not to make a scene about it. But this is all so sudden. I'm not mentally prepared for this either. As a father, I trust Sophia's character. She couldn't have done something like this. Of course they'd stick together, father and daughter." I felt my temper rising. "You don't know, Sophia, I'd been about to say that our second and third daughters also had no biological connection to me. But then a thought struck me. What if Thomas knows about Sophia's behavior? And he's deliberately stalling me here. What would I do then?" Thinking this through, I said, "Look, things have already come to this point. I just want to know the truth. Whose children are these? Sophia can't possibly not know about her own children. So why didn't she stay with that person? And choose me instead? And if she chose me, why hide it from me?" Thomas's face gradually lost its earlier composure, replaced by confusion. "I don't know what's going on either. I'll call her here right now to explain herself." Finally, Thomas called his daughter, telling her to come home immediately. Meanwhile, he held the DNA test report, asking me several technical questions. Seeing how clearly I explained everything, he remembered. I was a doctor who'd been practicing for over 10 years. Looking at the DNA test results, he could confirm that his granddaughter wasn't my biological child. After that, he also told his wife to come home quickly. Before long, Sophia rushed in. Seeing me there too, she looked slightly surprised, but then seemed relieved I was there. She could use her parents' influence to coax me back home. However, when she saw her father hand her the DNA test, asking her to explain, she panicked. She immediately glared at me furiously. "What the hell are you doing? If you're not happy with me, just say it. But coming here to complain to my parents, what are you trying to pull?" I didn't back down either. "You need to explain this to me clearly." Sophia immediately ripped up the DNA test report. "What's there to explain? Vanessa and the girls are your daughters. You want to use this garbage to frame me? To achieve whatever twisted goal you won't say out loud? Don't even think about it." Then she turned to Thomas. "Dad, do you know what he's doing? He wants to use this fake report to divorce me and make me pay him $1.6 million. Demanding such an enormous sum right off the bat. He's not a good person at all." Thomas listened, then immediately fixed me with a sharp stare. "So that's your real motive, isn't it?" I never expected my wife to flip the situation like this. Now I looked like some petty, money-grubbing fool. But I thought for a moment, then admitted, "That's right. Sophia, I do want to divorce you. And you do need to compensate me. If you'd signed yesterday, you'd only owe me $1.6 million. But now I'm demanding more." Thomas exploded. "You bastard. He slapped me hard across the face. Seeing I didn't fight back, he raised his hand to hit me again. But Sophia pulled him back. Even Sophia hadn't expected her father to actually hit me. She quickly said to me, "Apologize. Say you're sorry to my father. Say you're sorry to me. So my father will forgive you. And don't ever make me and my father angry again." I let out a cold laugh. I could feel my gums bleeding from the blow, my tongue probing the damage. Then I spat a mouthful of blood onto the floor. I don't owe anyone anything. This marriage ends here, today. Thomas lunged at me again in fury. "I'll beat you to death today, you ungrateful bastard." Just then, my mother-in-law pushed through the door. She gasped at the scene. "Thomas, why are you hitting him? Stop it." Thomas was still seething. This ungrateful piece of trash has the nerve to demand money from the Sullivan family. I'll beat him to death. He shoved his daughter aside and came at me. But I blocked his blows with my hands. My mother-in-law, not understanding what was happening, rushed over to intervene. "Stop it. Haven't you caused enough of a scene?" Sophia's voice rang out forcefully. "Dad, let go," she shouted. Then she tried to drag me outside. But I yanked my hand back. "Today we're getting to the bottom of this. And then we're getting divorced." I looked at my mother-in-law. "Mom, look at the DNA test. Please. Your granddaughters aren't my biological children. Sophia cheated on me, betrayed me. This marriage can't continue." My mother-in-law's eyesight was still sharp. She read the results clearly. Then looked at her husband. "What's this all about?" Thomas said, "This ungrateful bastard forged a DNA test to use it for divorce. But really he just wants the Sullivan family's money." "Sophia, tell us again. Did he demand $1.6 million from you?" My mother-in-law listened to her husband, then fixed me with a murderous glare. "You're in the wrong here." I was furious. "How is this forged? If you don't believe it, we can do another test. I can guarantee with absolute certainty. The results won't change. You'll just be wasting your time. Because Vanessa and the girls are not my daughters." "Sophia, I can't believe you not only won't own up to what you did, but you're accusing me of being greedy for money. I don't want a single cent. I still want to divorce you. Why didn't I say this from the start?" Sophia's brows knitted together, her eyes blazing with fury and hatred. She pointed toward the door. "Get the hell out." I said to her, "I wanted to separate from you peacefully. But you still think you have everything under control. Sophia, you've screwed up. You've screwed up completely. If you don't sign, we'll see each other in court." I left the divorce papers, glanced once at my in-laws, then turned and walked out. My mother-in-law shouted, "Jackson, stop right there. We're not done talking, you can't leave. Get back here." But I didn't even turn around. She then told her daughter, "Go get him back here right now." Sophia's face darkened as she picked up the divorce papers. "Forget it, Mom. Don't worry about him. Once he's done throwing his tantrum, he'll come back." Seeing her parents' unhappy expressions, she added, "I don't know what's gotten into Jackson. Forging a DNA test like this. Saying Vanessa and the girls aren't his daughters. Demanding a divorce and money. Now he won't even come home. Staying in hotels every day. He's possessed or something." Thomas scoffed. "That ungrateful bastard has been pretending for over 10 years. And now he can't hide it anymore. His foxtail is showing. Sophia, don't indulge him. Even if we get divorced, don't give him a single cent. The Sullivan family fortune, he doesn't get a penny." Sophia maintained her air of having everything under control, calm and unhurried. "Dad, what are you talking about? I'm not getting divorced. Once he stops being crazy and making a scene, I'll make him apologize to you." My mother-in-law picked up the DNA test again, saying doubtfully, "But Sophia, given how smart Jackson is, he wouldn't forge this kind of test. Even if he had 10 times the guts, he wouldn't dare extort the Sullivan family like this. Sophia, even though I trust your character, would you be willing to take a test?" Thomas agreed. "That's right, go take the test. So that ungrateful bastard knows exactly where you went wrong. I was in such a good mood today. And he ruined it completely." Sophia responded with complete confidence, reassuring her parents. "Honestly, Mom, Dad, I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything to hurt Jackson. Vanessa and the girls are Jackson's daughters. He won't keep this up for long. I can handle this. Don't worry about it. After saying that, she chased after me. I was in the hotel bathroom rinsing my mouth, washing my face, holding an ice pack against the side of my face where I'd been hit. Seeing my wife open the door and walk in, I started to leave. Sophia was unhappy with my dramatic display. Is all this really necessary? My father barely used any force. But when I took the ice pack away, she noticed the obvious bruise on my cheek. Her tone shifted immediately. Jackson, I didn't think it was that serious. Does it hurt badly? Let me take you to the hospital to get it checked. I yanked my hand away from hers. Tell me, am I really that cheap? Taking a slap from your father. And somehow I feel lighter inside. All these years, even though I wasn't the most devoted son-in-law, and I didn't bring him much glory, I didn't disgrace him that much either. That slap, I don't owe him anymore. And I don't owe the Sullivan family anything either. I handed my wife a legal document. Look at this. These are the legal procedures that need to be followed. If you agree to divorce, even without compensation, I won't pursue legal action. Sophia never thought I'd actually sue her. This put her in a passive, painful position. Jackson, what are you trying to do? We have a good life together. Why do you have to make such a mess just to feel satisfied? I laughed coldly. A good life? For you, sure. You get to have your cake and eat it too. Making me help you raise someone else's kids. Of course you think it's great. But me? These aren't my children. You've been lying to me for over 10 years. Over 10 years? How many decades do we even get? A life like that? Whoever wants to live it can have it. I was incredibly agitated, wanting to explode in anger, wanting to scream, but I held it back. Sophia, how many times have I told you to get tested? Once you see the results, you'll believe me. Why are you being like this? I've given you all this time. And you won't go verify it. I can only understand that as a guilty conscience. Sophia said furiously, Jackson, how many times do I have to tell you before you'll believe me? I didn't betray you. Vanessa and the girls are your daughters. Seeing my wife remain so stubbornly defiant, I grew even more furious. So the test results I have are fake? Multiple judicial agencies gave me fake results. Do I have that much pull? I stepped forward, grabbed her shoulders, and shook her hard. Sophia, wake up. Where's your objectivity and rationality? You need to cut your losses while you still can. A worthless guy like me, who has nothing. I'm not worthy of you. Go find Vanessa's real father. You raised his daughter all this time. You can make him pay child support. Sophia pushed my hands away, glaring at me. Stop shaking me. Nothing good ever comes out of your mouth. Just nonsense and garbage. Are you coming home with me or not? The second and third daughters are at home. Don't you care about them anymore? My face showed pure anguish. This time I couldn't hold it back anymore. Those two aren't mine either. They're all bastards you brought home from outside. You'd take better care of them. I'm worthless. My life is already ruined. Sophia, you've destroyed my entire life. I can't be saved anymore. I'm begging you, please agree to the divorce. Seeing me like mud that couldn't be molded, Sophia felt both disappointed and heartbroken. Go ahead and wallow in your self-pity. Seeing I refused to go with her, she brushed off her sleeves and left immediately. That afternoon, I went directly to the county court and officially filed for divorce from Sophia. I submitted the paperwork and was directed to a waiting room. After waiting about 10 minutes, I saw the Sullivan Corporation's legal counsel, Nina Thompson, walk in. She was my wife's confidant and best friend. Jackson, this isn't the place to talk. Let's go somewhere else. Hearing that, I asked if Sophia was coming. Nina said, Ms. Sullivan is truly swamped and can't get away. So she asked me to meet with you. Jackson, talk to me first, okay? Nina invited me outside and into her car. I didn't make a fuss. I could guess what Sophia was up to. She thought she could dodge the first blow and slip past the 15th. Tell her right now. She needs to come here immediately and finalize this divorce. Nina observed my expression, saw how agitated I was, and quickly tried to soothe me. Marriage is between two people. You can't just divorce on a whim. When you went in to inquire, They must have already informed you. You need to provide grounds for divorce. Just writing, emotional incompatibility, and personality differences won't be enough. Don't you have more compelling reasons? Not just to convince the court and me, but also to convince Chairman Sullivan. I was frustrated that Sophia kept playing dumb. Half an hour later, Nina returned to Sullivan Corporation to report to Sophia. Sophia set her work aside and asked Nina, "Did you convince my husband to give up that ridiculous idea?" Nina shook her head slightly, pulled out the DNA test I'd given her, and said carefully, "With this, things are complicated." Sophia glanced at the test report and immediately got angry. "Why is it this again? It's obviously fake. My husband has lost his mind over this report. How could he just go get tested without permission? Without my consent? Isn't it illegal for him to do this on his own?" Nina said, "Jackson is also a legal guardian. Him exercising his guardianship rights to get tested isn't illegal." Sophia continued, "Then if I countersue him for defamation, can I get him thrown in jail?" "Of course, I wouldn't actually put him in jail. Just to show him he can't defame me like this." Nina guessed Sophia's intention. "If the results are fake, then you can definitely win a lawsuit against him. Even without putting him in jail, you can make him apologize to you. Make him bow his head. But if the judicial system gets involved, the situation might get even worse." Sophia frowned. "I gave birth to my daughters. I certainly know who their father is. Are you saying I should arrange for a test and use the new results to shut my husband down?" Nina nodded. "Exactly. The truth speaks louder than arguments. I'll go arrange it right away." Sophia didn't make the decision immediately, but called me instead. Seeing my attitude was still so terrible, and I still refused to back down, she finally agreed with Nina's suggestion. Nina came to find me again, asking me to provide a sample. After she got it, she didn't leave right away, but sat down on the hotel bed. "Jackson, this is now a private matter. It has nothing to do with the relationship between you and Sophia." I looked at her, confused. Don't make excuses for Sophia anymore. She did what she did. She lied to you for 16 years. This happening to anyone wouldn't be easy to just let go. She thinks you want a divorce because you're greedy for money. Well, you can refuse the money. You just want to get away from her as soon as possible. Nina asked, "Right, if it's true, then you've really been wronged. I'm angry on your behalf. Oh, by the way, the kids are already grown. Why have you never suspected anything before? Last month when I came to your house, you two seemed so affectionate. What made things suddenly turn like this? What made you think to get a DNA test?" Hearing that, I felt extremely troubled. I pulled out a cigarette and lit it, my thoughts drifting back to the day I got tested. It turned out that day, in the inpatient ward, there was a patient. A child whose condition required a blood transfusion. Because it was an extremely rare blood type, they naturally thought first of asking family members to donate. The result was that the father and child's blood types didn't match at all. The father suspected the child wasn't his, and after testing, discovered that the mother had indeed cheated and gotten pregnant with someone else's child. In this situation, I'd been practicing for over 10 years and had encountered it many times. Before, I'd always just brushed it off. But when I got home, my eldest daughter Vanessa asked me for money to buy a car. A sports car worth $500,000. She was old enough and had her license, so she could own her own car. Though Sophia was the wealthiest person in New York, I had no authority to ask for money, so naturally I couldn't produce it. My eldest daughter was unhappy and argued with me, saying she wasn't my biological child. Words from parents, said as a joke, but the listener takes them to heart. I suddenly got interested in getting tested once. The result was that Vanessa and I had no biological connection. I exhaled a puff of smoke and told Nina this story. "Go back and tell Sophia. Fire can't be wrapped in paper. If you don't want others to know, don't do it." Nina asked, "You still haven't told me. Why did you suspect Sophia?" I said, "You should go ask Sophia about that. Oh, by the way, you two are so close. Who do you think Vanessa's real father might be?" Nina said, "Don't try to dig a hole for me. I can tell you that Sophia has been very good to you. She loves you very, very much. Did she think I was stupid? That evening, Nina received the rapid test results. She was utterly shocked, because the results also showed that Vanessa and I had no father-daughter relationship. Jackson wasn't lying. Could Sophia really have cheated? This wasn't some small matter. Nina didn't dare make the decision alone, and rushed to the Sullivan estate. She didn't waste time on pleasantries, heading straight to the study with Sophia. After Sophia read the results, she couldn't help but suspect Nina. Nina said, "This is a rapid test. The accuracy is slightly lower than a 3-day or 7-day test." Legally, people tend to trust the 7-day test results more. But Sophia, you need to prepare yourself mentally. Generally speaking, the results of rapid tests and 7-day tests won't be different. Sophia panicked slightly. How can this be? Vanessa and the girls are clearly mine and my husband's children. How could they become? Nina said, there's one more possibility. That there was a mix-up at birth. So, we still need to take your sample and test it with Vanessa's. Sophia nodded. Okay. The sooner the better. Sophia was somewhat panicked now, especially thinking about how I'd presented the test results multiple times. This couldn't be completely baseless. Just as Nina was about to leave, Sophia called her back. I haven't done anything to hurt Jackson. But if the test results are the worst-case scenario, what should I do? I don't want a divorce, and I don't want to lose Jackson. Nina's heart suddenly sank. Could Sophia have really cheated? She thought for a moment, then comforted Sophia. Actually, even in the worst-case scenario, Jackson should understand you. Sophia frowned seriously. Nina continued, actually, Jackson can't leave you. On my way here, I looked into his situation. These past years, his career trajectory at the hospital hasn't been great. He's already 40 years old. If he leaves you, he'll have nothing. Not to mention anything else. Just these past few days he's been away from your house. And all he can afford outside is a hotel. Jackson might just be protecting his pride. Once he thinks things through, he'll naturally come back and make peace with you. Sophia felt slightly reassured. You make a good point. After discussing with Nina for a while, she finally let Nina go back to work. Another day passed, and Sophia had just finished a board meeting. When she received a message from Nina, she immediately told Nina to come to her office. Nina walked in with a grave expression and handed over a test result. Vanessa is definitely your daughter. But Jackson's side isn't wrong either. Sophia read the results over and over again, her heart growing more and more confused. How can this be? Nina asked, should I go talk to Jackson again? Nina herself believed that Sophia had actually cheated. She could only try to do damage control with Jackson. Sophia said, I don't want a divorce. That's the bottom line and the prerequisite. Just then, the desk phone next to Sophia rang. It was a call from her secretary. The secretary said Jackson had arrived. She looked at Nina, who nodded. Sophia told the secretary to let me in. She stood up herself to open the door and greet me. I didn't look good. Stubble covered my face, and I reeked of cigarettes and alcohol. Honestly, I hadn't been doing well last night. I told Sophia not to touch me. As I sat down, I glanced at Nina. Nina, are the test results back? Sophia came to my side, wanting to sit close to me. Nina, step outside for a moment. I need to talk to Jackson. After Nina left, she finally said, the results are in, but they don't make sense. I don't accept them. I laughed coldly. Why don't you accept them? You think just because you refuse to accept them, they go away? Do you have no respect for the law anymore? Sophia also got a bit angry. I haven't done anything to hurt you. What do you expect me to admit? I said, there are test results. Sophia said, I already told you, they don't make sense. I don't accept this as the truth. I said, the children aren't mine. You cheated. You betrayed me. Sophia said, when did I cheat? You didn't catch me in bed with someone. So how can you prove I cheated? Do you have any evidence that I cheated? Hearing that, I asked Sophia back, do you have no shame? I never expected my wife Sophia to be this unreasonable. The DNA test was the best evidence possible. But Sophia was demanding I catch her in bed with someone before she'd admit to cheating. Sophia didn't answer whether she had shame, but said, Jackson, I don't want any more emotional misunderstandings between us. You have to trust me. I love you. I didn't cheat. The DNA test results between Vanessa and you are wrong. They're unreliable. If you keep being this stubborn, I'm really going to get angry. If you divorce me, you'll offend me. Do you know what the consequences will be? Hearing that, I immediately sensed the domineering aura radiating from Sophia, especially her eyes, which had the power to pierce right through a person. If this were the old days, I would have timidly backed down. When the family is harmonious, everything prospers. But now I had nothing left. And nothing left to lose. At the same time, I could see Sophia's true nature clearly. I had no reason to be afraid. I straightened my back and looked directly at Sophia. Sophia, I wanted a peaceful divorce. But now it seems you don't deserve that. I'll continue with the lawsuit. And even find reporters to expose this. I want to see who you cheated with. Sophia shouted, Jackson. She knew if I did that, even if she hadn't cheated, society would label her as such. By then, Sullivan Corporation would certainly be exposed too. And the damage to her would be immeasurable. Over 10 years of hard work would likely go up in smoke. A scandal of this magnitude would affect everything. Seeing my calm expression, she knew that if she pushed me too far, I would really do anything. Sophia could only say, let's talk this through nicely. Don't air dirty laundry. It affects you, me, and the children. I don't want to make a spectacle of our divorce either. Don't want to become workplace gossip. I relaxed slightly. Then why won't you listen to me? The children aren't mine. That's enough proof you cheated. Our marriage is over. Do you think I'm divorcing you because I'm greedy for money? I just want my dignity back. Sophia said to me, Jackson, don't you know what kind of person I am? Don't you know whether I've been involved with anyone else? Besides, we've been together all these years. Doesn't that count as love? You love me, you can satisfy me. Why would I need to cheat? I said, you can't judge a book by its cover. I used to think I understood you. But unfortunately, I was too naive. You have someone else. You've always had someone. I took a deep breath to calm myself. These past few days, I also found your prenatal records from when you were pregnant with Vanessa. Although not every visit was archived, what I found was enough to prove my conclusion. I pulled out several photocopies. My wife's archived prenatal records from that year. Just a few key data points and dates. We didn't have sex until our wedding day. That was your requirement, and I respected you. 1 month later, you showed signs of pregnancy. From this data, you may have already been pregnant before we married. Vanessa could have been conceived half a month earlier. Or even a month earlier. Continuing to calculate forward, Vanessa wasn't premature, she was full term. I hate how blind I was. I'm a doctor, yet I was too blind to see these signs. Sophia shook her head. No, that can't be. You can't say that about me. Besides, Vanessa is your daughter. I was furious. Why can't it be? The truth is right in front of you now. What do you mean it can't be? I think you fundamentally don't want to talk reasonably. With that attitude, what the hell is there to talk about? I slammed the door and left. Nina wasn't far away. She wanted to talk to me. But I completely ignored her. She asked Sophia. From Jackson's expression, he didn't look happy. You two couldn't reach an agreement? Sophia said, he still wants a divorce. If I don't agree, he'll expose these test results. Nina said, why is Jackson being like this? Sophia looked at the city skyline through the window, clutching the DNA test tightly in her hand. Her eyes growing deeper and more determined. He's negotiating with me. I can control such a massive enterprise. I can possess so much wealth. So many people submit to me. Am I really incapable of controlling my own husband? Being this passive isn't my style. Sophia turned to Nina. No need to be polite with Jackson anymore. You have 3 days to get him to obediently come back to me. Nina frowned. By any means necessary? Sophia didn't say a word, but nodded firmly. After leaving the corporation, I found a restaurant and sat down to order. While waiting, I sipped tea and began planning my next move. Sophia had done the DNA test, but still wouldn't accept the results. I'd also told her that Vanessa was probably conceived the month we got married, and she still wouldn't admit it. I said I'd divorce her even without money. And she played the emotion card. Sophia, do you want me to also reveal the DNA results? For the second and third daughters too? Is that the only way? You'll finally admit you cheated and betrayed me? If that's what it takes, you're really not leaving me any dignity at all. I'm not that cruel yet. Or rather, now's not the time. I kept wondering why my wife was still being so stubborn. Thinking it over, I realized it was nothing more than my wife thinking I was pretty stupid. Had no real foundation, and was easy for her to control. She could continue her affairs outside, making me wear the green hat. She was flying high like a kite in the wind outside, raking in money while enjoying other men. Sophia, you really are despicable. A devil, the most vicious wife. I absolutely couldn't forgive her easily. If Sophia still refused a peaceful divorce, then I'd make this huge, demand even more money. Then leave New York, find somewhere no one knows me, and live the life I want. While eating, I received a voice message from the hospital director, telling me to come back to the hospital this afternoon, to take a theoretical medical knowledge exam, and to sit next to David Song so I could help him cheat. They wanted to use me again? I replied, what medical theory exam? The director said it was a surprise decision by the hospital. I inquired a bit. The results of this exam could affect this round of title applications. David Song said to me, I haven't touched the books in forever. I don't remember any of this stuff. I'll have to rely on you again this time. I scoffed. Your academics are terrible, but you love mooching off others. You should have been fired long ago. After asking about the time and location, I ended the conversation and continued eating. Suddenly I heard a server calling out, is anyone here a doctor? Is there a doctor in here? I looked around, saw no one answering, so I raised my hand. I'm a doctor from County Hospital. What's wrong? The server said to me, could you please come take a look? Here's what happened. A child is choking. I said urgently, take me there right now. In the private room, I saw an 8-year-old boy who'd collapsed, showing signs of difficulty breathing. It was very dangerous. Next to him were an older woman and a younger woman, both panicking, with no emergency measures in place. I examined him briefly, then performed the Heimlich maneuver, causing the child to vomit up the lodged food. It was a meatball. After that, the child could breathe smoothly. I did another check before telling the younger woman, he's fine now. But his asthma isn't looking good. I strongly recommend you take him to the hospital for a detailed examination. In fact, looking at the child's condition, you should take him now, as soon as possible. Don't delay. The young woman saw how professional my examination was, how I immediately identified the child's chronic condition, and combined with my handsome appearance, she found me very trustworthy. She wanted to get my phone number. But I noticed the phone she pulled out was custom made, decorated with precious stones, and her clothes were also very high-end. Not an ordinary family. Someone like this bringing a child like this to a restaurant like this to eat was very unusual. I made up a number, then told the woman not to say more. In the woman's thanks, I felt comforted and my self-worth validated, as if recognizing my inherent value. Medicine was my livelihood. Why did I need to follow Sophia's arrangements, wasting all these years on a fake family? Medicine is a process of accumulation and settling. My medical skills hadn't been abandoned or regressed. Leaving Sophia, I could still live very well. After this reflection, I lost my appetite. So I headed to the hospital to take the exam. I didn't associate with David Song. Almost everyone taking the test was from the hospital. I found it a bit strange, but didn't think much of it. I finished the exam quickly and left. That evening, Nina knocked on my door. I let her into the room and asked directly, Sophia must have thought things through by now, right? Don't tell me she's still being stubborn? Nina sighed. Jackson, actually, Sophia loves you very much. She can't bear to divorce you. I frowned. What's she up to? Nina said quickly, Jackson, don't rush. Hear me out. Sophia's position is very high, and the pressure is enormous. Every single moment, she's responsible for thousands upon thousands of people in the corporation, which means thousands upon thousands of families. And with the industries the corporation is involved in, We're talking about millions of people in New York. She has to be responsible to them. So even though Sophia is a woman, she can't be like some ordinary little woman who only worries about romantic feelings and children. Of course, I can tell you responsibly, she loves you. Loves you very much, more than she loves herself. I said coldly to Nina. You fundamentally don't understand what she's done to me. These grand, righteous words sound great. But don't ever say them to me again. Nina said, fine, then let's not talk about Sophia. Let's talk about you. Nina pulled out a record of my hospital history. Jackson, you're just an ordinary resident physician right now, aren't you? If you divorce Sophia, you need to consider your career planning and future. And you'll still have to pay child support. I asked, what child support? Nina said, you and Sophia still have 2 children. After the divorce, Sophia naturally won't give you custody. And the court won't support it either. If Sophia takes responsibility for raising them, then as their father, you'll still have to provide for the children. According to Sophia's household living standards, you'll probably need to pay $10,000 to $20,000 a month. I took a deep breath. Nina, the issues between me and Sophia are our marital conflicts. An outsider who knows nothing doesn't need to interfere. If you're talking to me as a friend, then I have no obligation to tell you anything. If you're Sophia's legal representative, then you represent the defendant. Nina, I'm the plaintiff. We shouldn't be meeting. I heard the threat in Nina's words. Complete nonsense. The second and third daughters aren't even mine. And she wants me to pay child support? I called Sophia. It took a while before she answered. The environment on her end was noisy. I'm discussing business with friends. I'll come pick you up and bring you home in a bit. I laughed coldly. Sophia, I wanted a peaceful divorce with you. I wasn't going to take your money. But you sent Nina over to tell me that after the divorce, I'd have to pay you $30,000 a month in child support. Fine, then let's not talk feelings, let's just talk money. I'm not just demanding a divorce. I'm also demanding compensation. $300 million. On the other end, Sophia laughed mockingly. $300 million. That's quite the business deal. Before hanging up, I heard a middle-aged man on Sophia's end asking her, what kind of deal was worth $300 million? Is $300 million a lot? If I demanded half the marital assets, she wouldn't have a word to say. I knew my wife's personality. If I wanted money from her, unless she gave it willingly, I wouldn't get a single cent otherwise. Getting $300 million from her was harder than reaching the sky. But this was also a strategy to get her to agree to divorce. I believed that faced with marriage versus money, she would choose money. That night, I received a call from Sophia. She told me to come home immediately. After I refused, hotel staff came knocking with breach of contract penalties. Then told me to check out. I saw Sophia at the hotel entrance. She said, no hotel will let you stay. You still won't come home? How long do you want to humiliate yourself? My expression darkened. Sophia, is this your doing? Sophia said, that's right. Any hotel with even a bit of class. The owners behind them all give me face. I've already greeted them, so you won't be able to stay at any hotel. Therefore, you need to come home with me now. How comfortable it would be at home. No need to torture yourself out here. I laughed. Sophia, you really do have money. But you can't cover the sky with one hand. What you're doing right now only makes me more determined to demand divorce compensation from you. With that, I got in my car and drove away. I went to several other major hotels. Sure enough, none of them would let me check in. I cursed Sophia out in my head, then went to stay at a slightly lower tier hotel. Monday morning, I went directly to the courthouse, submitted my lawsuit and all related documents, officially suing my wife for divorce. Leaving the courthouse, I returned to the hospital and went straight to find the director. Because the director had a good relationship with my father-in-law. Whatever I told the director would quickly reach my father-in-law's ears. The director was very pleased when I arrived. Jackson, have you sorted out your personal matters? I also wanted to discuss something with you. I was only focused on the divorce, so I declined. Actually, these past few days I've been divorcing Sophia. I'll need a bit more time. I can't come to work just yet. The director was shocked. especially when he saw I wasn't joking. He also dropped the smile from his face. If I heard correctly, you just said you want to divorce Sophia? I didn't dodge it, directly admitting it, and showing the director the children's DNA test results. As a medically proficient hospital director, he immediately saw the problem from the test. Therefore, the director told me not to overthink it. You can continue resting. After seeing me off, he immediately called Thomas, then went directly to find him. The two men exchanged pleasantries for a while. Seeing there were no outsiders present, the director got straight to the point. Your son-in-law asked me for leave again. And this time it's to go through divorce procedures. Should I just fire him directly? Or demote him to a subordinate position? Or do you have other instructions? Thomas scoffed. That ungrateful bastard, airing the family's dirty laundry. Isn't he afraid people will laugh at him? The director didn't hide anything either, taking out the test results I'd given him and handing them to Thomas. This is what he gave me. Jackson's point is that since Sophia has someone better, she should give him his freedom. Thomas saw it was the test results again, and immediately tore them up, crumpling them into a ball and throwing it away. This is fake. Don't believe him, that ungrateful bastard. I won't let him off. The director didn't dare agree. All these years, Jackson's temperament has been stable. His work has never had errors. And he's never faked anything. If he fabricated test results just to get divorced, that would be suicide. He couldn't bear the consequences. Therefore, at the time, I felt these results could withstand investigation. Thomas fell silent after hearing this. Because if this was true, the problem was quite big. His daughter's problem was quite big. Thomas frowned and asked, Director Liang, did Jackson give you anything else? Did he say anything else to you? The director said, he only gave me this DNA test. Only mentioned it as the reason for divorce, asking me to give him time to handle this matter. Once it's resolved, he'll return to the hospital. It seems he's already gone to court to file suit. He wants to divorce Sophia. Thomas was startled. What? Filed suit at the courthouse? Isn't this causing chaos? Thomas immediately called his daughter, telling her to go to the courthouse to block the divorce case. The feedback he received was that Nina from the corporation had already handled it. That lawsuit had already been withdrawn. He breathed a sigh of relief. But Thomas thought about how I might file another lawsuit, and next time go to the appellate or Supreme Court. Withdrawing the case wouldn't be so easy then. Whoever tied the bell must untie it. He had to find me and ask clearly what I wanted to do. If his daughter's scandal caused the corporation's stock price to fluctuate and cause major losses, he would need to step in again to stabilize the corporation. In that moment, he thought of many things and told the director to keep me there. Couldn't let me file lawsuits everywhere. The director had a way. There was a special consultation this afternoon, and he told me to go with him. Before leaving, the director said to Thomas again, Thomas, if you won't give Jackson his freedom, then give him to me. I'll train him to be my successor. He's a rare, talented doctor. Thomas said coldly, you'd still train such an ungrateful bastard to be your successor? The director smiled. I don't ask about his personal affairs, but medically, he's still outstanding. With that, he got in his car and left. Thomas turned around and immediately called me. He told me to come see him, but I refused. Thomas couldn't sit still either. After calling his daughter, he went straight to the corporation. In the CEO's office, he met his daughter and said directly, tell Jackson to come here. I want to ask him what he wants to do. I called him and he won't come. I texted him and he still won't come. Sophia said, I'll go find him tonight. Sophia also called Nina in. I just spoke with Jackson. He's determined to sue me again. He'll go to every courthouse to sue me. If New York won't hear the case, he'll go to Washington, D.C. Do you have any countermeasures? Hearing this, Thomas sighed heavily. What we feared would happen has happened. Nina had slightly underestimated my determination. If he goes to the appellate and Supreme Courts to file suit, we'll be forced to respond. And we'll certainly be in a more passive position than now. Ms. Sullivan, the key to this problem still lies in the children's test results. With the current test conclusions, the court will still support Jackson. Sophia immediately said, "How can that be? They're clearly mine and Jackson's children. How did they reach such a conclusion? What are these testing agencies doing? I'll sue them for arbitrarily issuing such results." Nina stopped Sophia. "Ms. Sullivan, you can't. That will only make us more passive. Once we go after the testing agency, it will become major news. And the testing agency's conclusions have an extremely small error rate, extremely small. Once they lose the lawsuit, there will be many unforeseen consequences." Thomas said, "I'll handle the corporation. You deal with the dispute with Jackson first." After Sophia read my reply message, she immediately got a headache but listened to her father. She took Nina to find me. In the car, Sophia showed Nina the chat history. "What do you think he's after?" Nina said, "The literal meaning is, he won't argue with us about the test results, but will directly demand money. This might be his ultimate goal." That said, "Sophia, are you certain the children are his?" Sophia said, "All 3 daughters were born to Jackson and me. Besides Jackson, I've had no other men. Jackson may not have money, but I don't lack money. Jackson and I being together wasn't about his money at all. Jackson's not a bad person. He's also a doctor, can take care of the family, and his health is good. I had no need to cheat. I never expected this bastard to be so ungrateful now. I gave birth to 3 daughters for him, and he wants to divorce me and demand 300 million. This bastard is driving me crazy." Sophia was so angry she couldn't stand it. If I were next to her, she probably wouldn't be able to resist beating me up. Nina was also a bit confused by the test results. Sophia swore, "It must be the testing agency making mistakes. Testing my and Jackson's children as mine with someone else. Making such careless errors, I'll sue them." Nina said, "We should still find Jackson and talk things through nicely." Nina was a lawyer. She was inclined to trust the credibility of judicial agencies more. The conclusion: the children weren't Jackson's, but were Sophia's with another man. But she couldn't ask too directly. They went to find me, but I wouldn't see them. I turned off my phone, and they searched in vain. Actually, I'd been called away by the director to another hospital for a consultation. The patient was a 78-year-old man with an extremely special status, a retired executive from Washington, D.C., whose family had returned to their New York hometown for retirement. But recently, he'd fallen ill with severe painless hematemesis, dehydration, muscle spasms, and peripheral circulatory failure. Experts and doctors from top hospitals across the country, along with renowned specialists from New York, had all been treating him continuously, but none had been able to make him recover. I went in and didn't rush to present my views, because it wasn't my turn to speak yet. I just quietly reviewed the medical records they provided, first getting an overall understanding. When everyone fell silent, I presented my argument to the director. The director was also surprised by my thinking. It could match the pathological manifestations. So he immediately told me to speak on the spot. My words created waves like 1,000 ripples, because the argument I presented was that the old man had cholera. The other doctors hadn't dared think in this direction, but I'd reminded them. Therefore, everyone couldn't help but get excited, all beginning to research the condition. The patient's treatment team raised several questions. Seeing I answered with reason and evidence, they also went to test for cholera bacteria. That evening, lab staff through rapid testing channels confirmed it was cholera bacteria. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, and also concluded this long consultation. At the family's request, I would go to Washington, D.C. to participate in treating the old man. I declined, citing work reasons. Actually, the main reason was I needed to stay in New York to handle the marital crisis with Sophia. After the banquet, I returned to the hotel. I'd just finished showering when I saw Sophia swipe the room card. If I hadn't installed the security chain, Sophia could have walked straight in. Sophia said, "Missing all day, playing hide and seek with me? Open the door, let's talk about the breakup money." I let Sophia in. I dried my hair with a towel. "Sophia, you should have agreed days ago. Then you'd already be free by now." Beyond my expectations, Sophia took off her clothes and lay on my bed. I frowned. "What are you doing?" Sophia smiled lightly. Isn't it obvious? If you want my money, first you have to satisfy me. You just need to serve me well. Don't say 300 million, I'll give you 500 million. Even more, I can give you myself and my entire fortune. All of it to you. From now on, I'll be your baby. Now get over here. Win me and you win everything. This time, I was caught off guard. I looked at Sophia. I could see teasing in her eyes, but also a genuine desire to sleep with me. From Sophia's brows and eyes emanated a hint of sultry spring warmth. I felt stirred. Last time I was drunk and stumbled to the hotel, sleeping with her once. From that day to now, it had been several days. My body certainly had cravings. But Sophia, you cheated. Your body is filthy. I won't touch you again. I said coldly. You think I'm joking with you? I've already sent an express package to the appellate court. As soon as they accept it, we'll still have to go through divorce proceedings. If the appellate court route doesn't work, I'll appeal to the Supreme Court. Sophia glared at me. Jackson, stop using divorce to threaten me. Don't make me truly angry, or I won't be this good-tempered anymore. I laughed coldly. Sophia, you need to understand clearly. You got pregnant with someone else's bastard child, and made me raise her for 15 years. Now that you've been exposed, you still want me to be grateful to you for your good temperament, so I should continue helping you raise bastard children? Don't be so unreasonable. Sophia furiously threw a pillow straight at me. Is that any way to talk? Vanessa and the 3 girls are your daughters. 100% your daughters. You talk about your own daughters like this. Are you even qualified to be a father? Now apologize to me, then come home with me. No more of this nonsense. I was so angry I had to laugh. Are you pretending to be stupid or are you actually stupid? I've had DNA tests done, confirming Vanessa isn't my biological daughter. This indirectly proves you cheated. Sophia, you cheated. You betrayed me. We absolutely must divorce. I spoke clearly and forcefully, word by word. Sophia grew even more furious. Can't even have a conversation without talking about divorce within 3 sentences. Jackson, you're such a bastard. I'm so sick of you I could die. Sophia was so angry she lost all interest. She got up, put on her clothes, and slammed the door on her way out. My mood, which had been very calm, was still somewhat shaken by her outburst. An inexplicable sadness welled up from within. This liar, even at this point, still wouldn't admit to the terrible things she'd done, and still wanted to deceive me. Sophia, you really are too much. I smoked 2 cigarettes in a row before calming down. The next day, I was still at the hotel. But unexpectedly, my room door opened. My 3 daughters had arrived. This shocked me immensely. How did they get here? My youngest daughter understood nothing, hugging me, calling, Daddy, Daddy, repeatedly. Looking very happy. My second daughter looked around curiously. My eldest daughter Vanessa made no effort to hide her emotions. With a disdainful expression, she covered her nose with her hand and criticized directly. Jackson, you're pathetic. You have a home but won't go back. You're staying in this dirty, messy dump. What are you trying to do? And you're smoking too. I'm telling Mom, and she definitely won't let you off. You're dead. If this were the old days, I would have found my eldest daughter's disrespect endearing and affectionate. Being friends with my daughter could reduce the generation gap. The interaction would be very comfortable. But after learning the DNA test results, I had a different understanding. If she's not my biological daughter, she won't be close to me. And won't respect me either. My eldest daughter's rebellious personality was heartless and immoral. I was about to say something when, just then, the director called, telling me to come to the hospital. It concerned yesterday's cholera patient. An idea struck me. I couldn't find a reason to leave earlier. So I immediately accepted. Hanging up, I told my eldest daughter, I have to go to the hospital for work. I don't have time to look after you. Take your sisters home. My eldest daughter was even more contemptuous of this low-tier hotel. I don't want to stay here even one more second. I didn't want to come either. But Her Majesty issued a decree. If we don't bring Dad home, we can't go home either. Jackson, be a decent person. Come home with us. My second daughter, Grace, also nodded in agreement. Vanessa's right. Mom's really angry. If Dad doesn't come home, all three of us will follow Dad. Wherever Dad goes, we go. Whatever Dad eats, we eat. If Dad doesn't go home for a day, we can't go home either. Those are Mom's orders. She said this with a very serious expression. I could tell she was telling the truth. My youngest daughter had already taken off her shoes and was jumping on the bed. If we don't go home, we don't go home. I like being with Daddy. I frowned. This was Sophia's despicable tactic, using the daughters to trigger my parental affection and sympathy. Well then, don't blame me. I packed my things and told my second daughter and youngest to stay in the room first. I'd go downstairs with my eldest. In the elevator, I asked my eldest first, "How did you all get here?" She said, "Mom brought us." She dropped us off and left immediately. Don't think anything bad. If you don't come home with us, Her Majesty at home won't let us off. Please, do the right thing and come home with us. I stared at her intently. Vanessa, do you know why I won't go home? She said, all these years being suppressed by Her Majesty. You want to rebel a little. I get it, I get it. This time you've rebelled enough. We've all seen what you've gained from it. Just accept your fate and come home with us quickly. I made plans with friends ages ago. If I didn't have to come get you, I'd already be out with my friends. So don't bother me anymore. Or I won't take your side either. I said to her, you're in high school now. Almost 16 years old. You're basically an adult. There are some things you should know. Vanessa, I'm divorcing your mother. So I won't be coming home. Hearing this, Vanessa was utterly shocked. Divorce? Jackson, are you serious? If you talk like that and Mom finds out, she'll tear you apart. I said, your mother already knows. She's known for a long time. Not just your mother, but your grandparents know too. The divorce is proceeding very quickly. Your mother just needs to sign. And she and I will have nothing to do with each other anymore. Vanessa didn't understand. You're really divorcing? Why? I said, because of you. Vanessa's face filled with confusion. Jackson, what does the conflict between you and Mom have to do with me? You can't throw dirty water on me. Wait, Jackson, did you cheat with some woman outside and Mom caught you? With Mom's domineering personality, she definitely wouldn't forgive you. That must be it. Vanessa immediately thought of this reason. Because among her friends and classmates, some had parents who divorced. Because the father cheated and did all sorts of unacceptable things, causing outrage, leaving the couple no choice but to divorce. And now her own parents were about to divorce. Surely there was a similar dramatic script. I pulled out a DNA test report and handed it to my eldest daughter. Last time when you asked me for money to buy a car, I didn't have money for you. So you said I wasn't your real father. The truth proves you were right. We have no biological relationship. Sophia has arranged another father for you. He's your real father. The end.